Ladies and gentlemen, we have made it. Basketball season is here. Tip off tonight. Hundreds of games across the country, and both of our schools tipped off tonight. I'm repping one of them. Big win for the Dogs. Goes to Lukey's. But we're here to talk about the Illini. 87-57 win over Eastern Illinois, the other directional school. One of the other directional schools in the state. I'm Craig Choate. That is Logan Lee across the screen if you're on YouTube. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. We are going to do as many of these post-game shows as possible this season. We started it about Big Ten season last year. I believe we started it. And they got a lot of reaction and a lot of people watched them on YouTube. So we're going to try and do them a little bit more and as many times as we can this season. This is the first one, season opener win over Eastern Illinois. While you're here, if you're on YouTube, give us a like. Give us a subscribe down at the bottom of the page below the video. We would really appreciate that. Also, follow us on our social media channels. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see them on the screen. For those listening, at No One Asked Us Pod on Twitter, at Craig W. Choate, at The Logan Lee, No One Asked Us on Facebook, at No One Asked Us Pod on Instagram. We are all over the place. So thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. We hope to do a lot of these this year. This is the first one, so let's kick it right off. Illinois wins 87-57. Was never really a game. Maybe halfway through the first half, a little bit kind of, but one of those games that Illinois was never worried. We were never worried. So not a ton to break down here, but there are a couple talking points. Logan, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the game was never really in doubt. It was kind of messy early on, but I think everybody that's an Illinois basketball fan was just probably more interested in just seeing this team play, more so than necessarily the outcome. Now, obviously, you wouldn't want to come away from this game with a loss to start your season. But I think, I think I speak for about everyone when I say I think I was just more interested in seeing this actually come to fruition. I mean, I've just been excited about watching this team play for a while. I like the changes that they made in the offseason. I like the additions that they were able to bring in. And I've just been excited to see it. So to actually see these guys on the court together, see what they were able to do, the good and the bad of that. That's I think really what all anybody really wanted to see, and we got it. So,
Yep.
And it came with a 30-point victory. So I guess you'll take that any day.
Yep. First time seeing, 7 of the 9 players in the rotation wear an Illini uniform officially. So I don't think anyone knew exactly what to expect. And I think tonight was a pretty good gauge on what we will see the rest of the season from this team, both offensively and defensively. So run over the box score here quickly as we normally start the show with. Illini led by Terrence Shannon Jr., 24 points, 13 of those from the free throw line. Also added 8 rebounds to the mix. Coleman Hawkins, 23 points and 12 rebounds. He was 5 of 8 from 3. He was outstanding tonight. And then third leader in scoring, Dain Dainja. A double-double for Dain, 17 points and 10 boards. He looked impressive tonight. Albeit everything we say today, take with a grain of salt because it is Eastern Illinois. They are one of probably the worst 20 or 10 teams in the country, Division I. So take it with a grain of salt. But double-double for Dain Dainja, and he looked very good. Sincere Harris, 9 points. Matthew Myers, 7 points. Sky Clark 3, Jaden Epps 2, and then a couple guys. RJ Melendez only 1 point. Ty Rogers only 1 point. Matthew Meyer 4 rebounds. Ty Rogers did have 8 rebounds and 5 assists. And I think we might see that stat line from him quite a bit this season. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Nothing really crazy here that stood out other than that. 46.9% from the field, 34.6% from 3. So three-pointers still aren't a strong suit other than Coleman Hawkins tonight, and then 18 of 33 from the free throw line. And without Terrence Shannon, they're 5 of 18 from the free throw line. So womp womp, not good there. I took a couple notes. I don't know if that you did or not. So I'll just start with this.
Mental notes, Craig.
I started writing stuff down and then started to turn into a blowout, and I was like, all right, whatever. So I'm going to start with this one. And I know you You tweeted something similar, but I've come up with a phrase for the style of play. Yours was
Chaos incarnate is what I
chaos
it's
incarnate.
yeah.
I'm going with coordinated chaos
Yeah. I mean
on
that's
both ends of the floor.
I think I'll say this. I think that it could eventually turn into coordinated chaos. But I don't know that at times tonight it was actually coordinated chaos. I think it was just chaos. Um Again, it's just these guys playing together for the first time. Several
Yeah.
of them have never touched the floor in a regular season game at the college level. Um, Sky Clark was made some passes that he won't make later this year. Sincere Harris was trying to to dunk on the entire town of Charleston every time he touched the ball, and he eventually tried to get. I mean, he eventually almost got a dunk down.
I
It was just a
said,
lot of. It was just a lot of that. It was just madness. It was
yeah,
absolute madness.
with
Um,
Harris, I said he is Trent Frazier. Like he is the same person. In my group chat, I said that. And then immediately he did that. And one of my buddies replied, I've never saw Trent Frazier do that.
no, there is more athleticism on this team than
Yeah.
Illinois has had in a very, very long time. Does
Yeah.
that mean they're going to be better than some of these other teams? I don't know, and it's too early to tell that. But there is far more athleticism than we've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more athleticism in Terrence Shannon and Sincere Harris's pinky finger
Yeah.
than this team has had in decades. So,
Yeah.
um, yeah, it was just chaos is yeah, I agree with you. I think it can be coordinated chaos, or is that the word you used? Coordinated
Yeah.
chaos? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it can be that. I don't know that that's exactly what it was tonight. Um, but either way, it was just a lot of back and forth and blocks and trying to go the other way with it and turn the ball over and a
Yeah.
lot of first game jitters. Honestly, I think is what you can equate that to.
Um, and this team that I'm getting ready to bring up here isn't one that I'm super familiar with. Um, because we were still in high school era, so we weren't like watching and dissecting games like we do now. Some VCU Havoc Shaka Smart type vibes.
Wow.
I mean, obviously they were like intense for 40 minutes. Not quite to that level, but compared to what we're used to, it felt
Yeah.
very much kind of like that. And I
Yeah,
don't
it's
I don't think that's what the Illinois will be, but I mean, the first note I wrote down was Illinois was in a full court press about 2 minutes into the game.
yep.
That's the first note I took. Full court press 2.5 minutes into the game.
I think you're going to see a lot of that.
You're gonna see a lot of that, and it
That's
it
how
ended up working.
that's how Brad wants to play. That's the type of team he's built. Um, they have the size to do that. Um, and you're going to see oftentimes they're going to get beat. Um, and sometimes it won't work out, but a lot of times it will. So you're definitely going to see a lot of the full court press.
The other thing, and it stuck out with me with Matthew Meyer, and I believe almost everyone except Dain Dainja did this. If they got a defensive rebound, didn't find an outlet, they just turned around and started bringing the ball up. I know Coleman Hawkins brought the ball up. Ty Rogers, I think, brought the ball up a couple times, but I noticeably saw it with Matthew Meyer early in the first half. Just get it and go. And we talked about it as well, multiple times, almost all the time. Illinois was down the court in about 4 seconds into their offense to get to that 7-second offense that Underwood talked about that he liked to do. So there will be a lot of fast break. Let's see if we can find fast break points here real quick. I don't know that they had a ton. Yeah, only 5 fast break points, but they were get the rebound and go. Not necessarily on the fast break, but they wanted to get down the floor quick and get into their offense quickly. Next thing I wrote down was the rotation. Ty Rogers was first off the bench, and then Dainja and Epps, I believe, came in at the same time.
They did.
And then we saw Sincere Harris, which I think is what everyone expected. Rogers to be first, then depending on the matchup or the need, Dainja and Epps, and then Harris come in last. I knew this going in because I loved him out of high school. Illinois fans and everyone's gonna love Ty Rodgers.
Yeah.
They're gonna love everything about him. His stat line tonight, I read it off: 1 point, but 8 rebounds, 5 assists. He did have a couple turnovers. He played 23 minutes. He had a 19 plus minus. He had a plus 19 plus minus. That's what you're going to get. He was 1 of 6 from the free throw line, so he could have scored more. Free throws were an issue for everyone except for Terrence Shannon, but that's what you're going to get with Ty Rodgers. He's not going to score the most points. He's going to do everything right, though, and he's going to work his ass off on both ends of the court. And we saw
That's what they
proof of
need.
it tonight. Yeah.
That's what they need. I mean, they have a lot of guys that are going to try to score, and a few guys that came to this school because they thought that this was a chance for them to um, do something with their career. I think there are two guys, obviously in particular, that transferred here, wanting to, build on something and have a professional career that they, didn't think that they had gotten the chance to do to show off at their last school. And I think that a lot of guys are going to be looking for their shots, looking for their points, looking for to pad their stats. And yeah, I think you're right. I think it's nice. It's gonna be nice to have Ty Rodgers there. That's somebody like a DeMonte Williams who, is going to do all the other
Yes.
things. You're
Good
not going
comp.
to look to him to score. He's a better version of DeMonte Williams, and he's a more athletic version of DeMonte Williams, and he's bigger than DeMonte Williams. But in terms of that type of role on the team, that's exactly what he fills.
Yeah, that's a good comp. I think a lot can be said of the same stuff can be said about Sincere Harris.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
I think
yeah.
he's going to he's not afraid, as we saw. Logan said it. He tried to dunk on everyone in the gym tonight. Not afraid to take the shot, but he's just a bulldog. I think that's gonna get in your face and guard the what out of you and just do things hard 24/7 and play really hard. So I like the freshman. I like all the freshmen. Sky Clark, what was his stat
Yep.
line tonight? 3 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, I think. So not a great night from Sky Clark. 5 turnovers from Sky. So not a great night, but he was plus 17 and plus minus, which everyone except for Brandon Lieb was plus in the plus minus tonight. Let's see what else I got here. So I think I want to try and do something in these post games, and it's probably not going to go over great because we can't show the clip or the radio broadcast or anything. But what was your play of the day or play of the night, play of the game, whatever? And I hope we have the same one.
I mean, the biggest highlight is the Terrence Shannon dunk.
Yes.
He just absolutely just he was so far out too. I did not think that that's what was going to be the result of that. You brought up the Brian Randall connection. I mean, yeah, that's the last time Illinois had anybody that would do that. And as I said, I think Sincere Harris is kind of like that too. I think if he gets the opportunity, he tried several times tonight. So
yeah,
he's going to be just like that as well. Yeah, that was clearly, I don't know if that was like the biggest moment of the night, but yeah, that was obviously the biggest highlight of the night was the Terrence Shannon dunk for sure.
Yeah, that I'm glad you said that because that was mine as well. So so we agree on that. Yeah, it was
There wasn't a lot of like big highlight performances like from this game. It was all Coleman's threes in the first half.
yeah.
And that dunk, and Dain Dainja had a couple nice, dunks in there, but it wasn't a lot of like top play type highlights other than the one. Yes, obviously the one.
The one Terrence Shannon dunk we're talking about got a reaction out of Christy, and if a play gets a reaction out of Christy while she's on the couch, you know it was a quite the highlight there. Career high for Coleman Hawkins was his 23 points he ended up with, 23 and 12 for Coleman. I love seeing that. I love that the threes were falling. I'm just worried because he did the same thing last year.
Yeah, I wasn't getting myself too excited about that performance from Coleman. I love to see it. I want to see more of that. But they obviously need him to be one of their go-to guys and to be, the leading scorer, numerous times throughout this season, but to count on him to make five threes a game that's just, you can't do that. And
Hmm.
but I'm not sure who else is going to hit those shots, if I'm being quite honest with you. So
Yeah.
um I think we've kind of already talked about it a few times before even the show in our kind of preseason type things. Shooting in general is going to be an issue. Free throw shooting, 3-point shooting, just jump shots from the field. This
Hmm.
team missed several bunnies at the basket. Um,
Let's see if there's a shot chart here.
I mean, it was kind of it wasn't the prettiest performance. It was Coleman's threes and Shannon at the free throw line. That was most of the action in terms of points scored. And then Dain, obviously, but I guess probably all those were, putbacks or dunks in the post.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see a shot chart on the game stats. So I don't know about layups and all that stuff. But yeah, I think that's all I've gotten written down really, other than Dainja's double double. But again, it's against Eastern Illinois. But it's good to see. Because in our group chat, um, we've been talking since the end of last season about what we might get from him. And a couple of the guys were worried that he was going to be an Omar Payne 2.0. And we quickly saw tonight that that's just not the case. This
No,
dude's
two
smooth. Yeah.
very different types of players.
Yeah. So I don't think we have to worry about anything there. So, yeah, that's all I've got written down. Is there anything else from tonight that you want to touch on or that caught your eye or anything like
No,
that?
I don't think Eastern Illinois is a game that you can really learn a lot from, but just
No.
being the first time that we've seen this team play, I think we did, see some things, both positive and negative. Brad's gonna have plenty for them to work on this week, and try to correct some things in the next couple games before things get a little more complicated and challenging a week from this Friday. So yeah, it was nice to see this team together. Nice to see them on the floor. Um, loved some of it. Didn't like all of it. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be chaos. This
Hmm.
team is just, until they get a flow, figure out their roles, till the freshmen settle in a little bit. It's going to be utter chaos. And I was, right before we jumped on here, I was listening a little bit to uh, Rob Douster and Jeff Goodman, Field of 68, talking about the fact that today is the big opener of college basketball, and everybody was playing a bye game essentially,
Yeah.
and how that's bad for the sport. And I agree to an extent. I mean, you obviously want your first night to have some marquee matchups, but like there's a reason why these games are played.
Yeah.
Illinois, sure, would it be nice for Illinois to match up against a Pac-12 school or something like that to start the season? Yeah. I mean, okay, sure, you might get some better competition and get some, better strength of schedule, that type of thing. But like, this is a team that needed these opportunities, just to get on the
Yep.
floor together, play a game that counts. I mean,
Hmm.
it's not an exhibition game. It certainly counts in their record, but they need these kind of confidence boosters. I don't love that it's, you have to wait 3 games before you get a meaningful game, but they need to use all 3 of those games. So
Hmm.
I understand what they were saying, but I don't totally hate the scheduling decisions that are made. But yeah, they're going to need to take advantage of these games and figure some things out.
Yeah, I think the most high profile game of the night was probably Memphis and Vandy. I don't know that there were many, if any, other high major teams playing each other. If you even call Memphis a high major, is the American a high major conference?
Um, I don't know. They're
I would say
they're on that
yes.
tier.
I would say yes. So I believe that's the only one, and I think Memphis won that one by like 9. But yeah, I saw Doster's tweet about how there are hundreds of games on and there are none that I actually care about.
Yeah.
Which yeah, but it's yeah, like you said, it's the first night. I don't expect there to be a Michigan State versus Duke the first night of the season. No coach would want that. Indiana won big. Michigan won big. Michigan State won big. Rutgers big. Penn State. Yeah, every Big Ten team that played tonight won, except for Minnesota. Minnesota beat Western Michigan by 1. Nebraska beat Maine by 13. Those are the 2 closest.
Yeah,
Big Ten games.
I was looking at the Big Ten schedule before the game started, looking at who was playing an actual like somewhat formidable opponent, and Western Michigan was really the only name that caught my eye. I don't even know how good they are as a basketball team, but just in terms of, at least they're a MAC, right? They're MAC up. They're MAC.
They're MAC. Yeah. They're MAC.
At least they're that. So I'm like, okay, well, and then that of course that ended up being the only one that was actually close. So
I don't see
that got it Friday.
I don't see a game of ranked team versus ranked team until
Friday, I think.
I don't see any on Friday.
Well, Michigan State's not ranked, but
Michigan State Gonzaga is Friday. Yep. The Armed Forces Classic. Yeah. It's a slow climb into this college basketball season, which I don't hate whatsoever.
No, I understand, being a basketball junkie and wanting to flip on a meaningful game and a game against people that, were actually formidable opponents. I understand that, but at the same time, for these teams, like, you get one exhibition game, and you need to be able to build that up a little bit. So you get 30 some games. It's not like college football where you only get, however many games, and people complain that they have too many cupcakes on the schedules there. You have a lot more games to work with, and Illinois' sake, it gets a lot more complicated here very quickly. So take advantage of those games that you have to work on some things, and hopefully you don't drop any of those. That's definitely not what you want, but learn from these chances and build on it and get ready for UCLA.
Yeah, I found the first ranked game.
What is it?
Tuesday night, Duke, Kansas, Champions Classic.
Yep.
You want to go?
Oh, that's fun. No, that's fun.
Me and Logan didn't leave a game early 7 years ago and miss a classic ending in the Champions Classic. That wouldn't be us. No way.
That's our best moment as a pair. That's our second best moment. Our best moment is hanging out with Paul Pabst.
Paul Pabst, yeah. I think we hung out with him for 30 seconds. Got one picture and see ya.
Yeah. That was about it.
I can't think of anything else. Is there anything else?
No.
You
got to edit, and I got to go to bed.
Do you know what the line was on tonight, by the way?
It's like 25 or something, right? 29?
31 at tip.
Oh, I guess I thought it was 20 something at one point.
It opened at 27 or 29, but it was 31.
So it was 30.
It was 30.
What'd you take?
I took Eastern plus 32. So I had the over. 6-4 tonight on the opening night. I'm pretty proud of that because first week or so of college basketball is tough to bet because you don't know. But okay, I think that's it. Illinois wins 87-57. 1-0 on the season, obviously. Yeah, I again, not much we can take from this. It's a win. It's the start of what could be a pretty good season. Did you read my blog?
I did read your blog. Yes,
Threw that together in like an hour.
2,500 words. Proud of you. Clearly,
did you count them? Really?
No, I'm just. It was long.
It was a little bit longer one. It was a 9-minute read according to my website.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's
great. So if you haven't checked it out, go to my Twitter, read my blog.
Go to Craig's Twitter.
They were saying a lot on the broadcast of what I had in the blog.
Do you think they read your blog?
Probably.
It's
got like thousands of views already. I can see that. But if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. We'll do more of these. Don't know if we're going to do one Friday or not because it's a Friday night and we have lives. It's a Monday night right now and Monday nights suck, so we don't have anything to do. But I did go to a game earlier today.
I did see that. I saw that. You were at the Louisville women's game?
Yeah.
Well, because I saw you were there, but then you were texting us about Southern. I thought, are you just watching the Southern game while you're at the other game? But then I realized that the other game was over.
Yeah,
So
it started at 5.
Okay. So you were there early. Got it.
Yeah, very early. So, all right. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. That'll do it for us for tonight. We'll keep you updated on Friday. If you see a show, if we do a show, you'll see it released. If we don't, you'll see it on Sunday for our regularly scheduled programming. Thanks again for watching. That's Logan. I'm Craig. We'll see you next time. Another Illini win, 87-57 over Eastern Illinois.
ILL.